Hey, I'm so glad you guys joined me today. I am here with Michael Rubino, and he is an expert in indoor air quality. And this is a topic we have exercised for many, many years. We've had lots of questions, we've had lots of conversations about this one on one, but we've never done a show like this today. So, Michael has written a book called The Mold Medic. And one of the interesting things about it, it's coming out. They're doing a revision of the book right now. It's going to be out in a couple of months. One of the most interesting things is many of us have indoor air quality that we are suffering from. It's causing health problems in our lives, and we don't necessarily know that it's caused from air. So we're going to unpack that today, and we're going to find out some of the things that we need to be aware of. Because remember, when we are aware, we have choices, right? So please help me welcome Michael Rubino. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me here.
Tell us about what should we budget for having an HVAC cleaning and having it include stuff like the vent in the bathroom and all the things that might not be added to our services.
I would say you should probably budget about $1,000 a year, and that's for each system. So some of you may have one system in your house, some of you may have two or more. You want to budget about $1,000 per system, and that should help you with filter replacements, cleaning the system, and just making sure that you're staying on top of the maintenance of that.
And I'm glad you said that because that sounds like a lot of money. And I want to stop for just a second and say when you don't take care of your health and when you can't breathe, the challenges that you have on a medical side will cost so much more than the maintenance on your air conditioning unit. And that is really, really critical because I've seen so many people that live in environments where they are becoming respiratory victims. They have emphysema and they have all different kinds of breathing apparatuses and oxygen tanks and things like that to try to replace the breathing that's been damaged that could have been cured by other things that have added to the breathing problems in their lives. Can you address some of these issues, Michael, and tell us some of the things that maybe we're not aware of even that are causing breathing challenges in our homes with too much moisture in the air?
Well, that's just it. So mold can start to grow in as little as 60% relative humidity. All right. So based upon the building materials utilized typically in North American construction, we have to really be cognizant of that. A wine room, for example, most people want to keep the humidity at 60% or even maybe even slightly above 60%. Well, that can create a problem with condensation because you're going to have obviously ductwork, you're going to have temperature controls. As you change the humidity, you really change the actual dew point that's easily to develop, which you have to be concerned about things like metal vents, right? Where they can condensate pretty easily when the humidity is that high. You also have to be concerned about things like drywall. Most of our houses are built of drywall and they have porous insulation behind that. And so if the drywall and insulation are absorbing too much moisture, you're allowing this ability for mold and bacteria to start to grow and thrive. So it becomes a bit of a challenge. In comes ventilation. So ventilation, if you want to have a wine room at 60% relative humidity, it's going to be really important to have ventilation controls in place that will take that humid air out, exchange it with fresh air in. And just that air movement controls is going to help things from becoming too stagnant and allow mold and bacteria to really start to grow and thrive. So, unfortunately, the reason I brought up wine rooms in the first place is because I've had so many clients where they have wine rooms or they're trying to create wine rooms and they don't think about this. And then all of a sudden, we're having to rip apart their wine room and completely remediate it and fix it up just because of that aspect. This is the same thing for greenhouses. If you have an attached greenhouse, to your property, I mean, think about how much moisture is going to be in that air. If you open the door between your interior and your greenhouse, you can create an issue. Also, it's pretty hard to create a hermetic seal, meaning 100% sealed space. So that means if you've got it attached, you might be having some cracks and crevices that just can't be 100% sealed, where essentially that moisture is getting into the house. And so, we're creating this recipe for disaster potentially if we don't have certain things in control. Now, if I had an attached greenhouse, again, I would be looking at what are ways I could ventilate this space and get some airflow movement in here. So I'm not worried about having, this ability for mold and bacteria to grow, which is very, very important.
Thank you, Michael, for your time today. Please tell our listeners where they can go to find you.
Thank you so much for having me here today. If you are looking to understand a little bit more about air quality and the different services and products to get you the best air quality you can get, please go to homecleanse.com. If you want more information about me or upcoming podcasts, books, etc., please go to themichaelrubino.com. And if you're inspired by anything I talked to you about today, I do have a 501c3 nonprofit called changetheairfoundation.org, which you can check out as well about what we're trying to do to change the systemic issues in our society that allow us to get sick in our own homes.
And we will leave links to all of that in the notes below. Thank you so much today, Michael, for joining us. Thanks, everybody that tuned in today and for all of your questions. And we'll see you guys again, same time, same place next week. Take care.